When you reach acceptance, the first step of aggressive positivity comes in. So in my case, crap, I have cancer. So I told myself, I'm not sick, I'm healing.
So tell us, first, what is aggressive positivity?
Aggressive positivity is my philosophy in how to overcome aggressive challenges so that you have the control to fearlessly action a positive present and future. Mm-hmm. And there's 3 major steps. The first, when you're slapped in the face with an aggressive challenge, you go through the regular motions of shock, denial, anger. That's all necessary. You have to go through those phases in order to reach acceptance. Mm-hmm. When you reach acceptance, the first step of aggressive positivity comes in. So in my case, crap, I have cancer. Mm-hmm. So I told myself, I'm not sick, I'm healing. So the first step is flip your mind. You have to flip the situation, just like hot and cold, war and peace, love and hate. The greater the challenge, the easier it is to think of the flipped state of mind. So I told myself, I'm healing. But the problem with our thoughts is they do this.
Yeah,
right?
Up and down.
Okay, so, great, I'm healing. A second later, I'm down in the gutter, I'm dying, right? How do you keep your thoughts from the ultimate descent?
Yeah.
You have to hit it with an aggressive action of love. What does that mean? So this is the second step. You have to find that activity, that thing that you do, that when you walk away, you are energized, you are fueled, you are flying. It fills your soul, it makes you happy. Mm-hmm. It could be a hobby. For me, it was singing. It could be spending time with your children. It could be hanging out with your buddies for a beer. The criteria is when you walk away, you feel light, you feel giddy, you feel that feeling. You're kind of like, yeah.
As you said that, I thought myself as an individual might have an easier time mind flipping than being mindful. Right. Now, I being more of a reactive, aggressive type of personality, I have been practicing mindfulness for quite some time because my inner dialogue could become quite, call it dark and aggressive and reactive sometimes, right? Particularly when I drive a car.
Right.
So what I do is I catch myself in that moment and I think, you know what, I can't think this way, which is problematic because I should be thinking about what I can think about.
Right.
But mind flipping starts to say, like, you know what, as that thought comes in, catch it, right? Did you have different techniques for catching it?
Yes.
Or, okay.
One of them is separating fact from fiction.
Tell us more about that.
So, okay, fact. I'm getting a needle tomorrow as part of whatever procedure. Fiction, it's going to hurt. Fiction, I'm going to be scared. Fiction, it's going to be a terrible experience. Fiction, oh my God, leading up to it and it's going to leave a bruise. You don't know. You don't know.
You build these mental models up in your head.
There was a guy in the waiting room to getting a CAT scan. He was an elderly gentleman. It took them 3 times. They were trying to find his vein. And they kept missing. And he was literally wailing. He's like, And I said to him, would it help you if I sang you a song? He looked at me, he's like, yeah. I said, what's your favorite song? He's like, I like the classics. So I started singing to him, somewhere over the rainbow. I didn't finish my second line. Yeah. The nurse turns to him, she goes, you're done, buddy. Yeah. He's like, what do you mean? I didn't feel that. Right. And she said that she wished that I stayed there the whole day, but his distracted mind allowed him to relax enough for her to put it in now.
You're the patient whisperer. But that's amazing. So,
and something I wanted to tell you also about the mind flipping and action of love is that it has to be an aggressive action of love. I'm reappropriating the word aggressive for positive means. You got hit aggressively with an aggressive challenge. You have to hit back just as aggressively. Yeah. That's why when you're doing your actions that make you happy, you have to do it in an aggressive way because you're fighting a lion. Yeah. You're not going to go and fight Darth Vader with a water gun. You use a sword. It's a white sword, but it is a sword.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I like that because, you know, I think a lot of people talk about be positive, right? But
I heard that a lot.
Yeah, be positive, stay positive.
It felt really, again, best of intentions.
Yeah.
Best of intentions from everyone around. But just to say, be positive, it felt empty and meaningless because I was sitting and facing chemo, like so many rounds of chemo, so many rounds of radiation, surgeries, side effects, losing my hair, having to explain to a three-year-old that mommy's not going to be so well for a little bit. Be positive. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
And I needed to give that meaning.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided to kind of do it this way.
So catch the thought, right? And then
Flip it,
which is, let's look at the opposite part of that, is defining fact versus fiction.
Yes.
Right? What else goes into that?
Trying to see, you know, not everybody actually has the ability to flip,
Right.
especially when you're stressed.
Right.
Low energy, not sleeping. That's the time actually that is the most difficult to flip.
Yeah. You're most susceptible to those
yes.
dark thoughts.
Which is why I give 80 examples of different mind flips.
Yeah.
Of everyday situations and very difficult situations. And so I try to give people tools to try and help.
This is in your book. You wrote them all out, the different...
I wrote them all out,
Yeah.
and I also wrote out the technique of trying to separate the fact from fiction and looking at literally the opposite word.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you're in a state of hate, imagine yourself in a state of love.
And do you have any standard lines that you thought were quite helpful, or questions you would ask yourself?
No.
Okay, that's cool. Right?
No, I don't know. Maybe I did it. It's possible that I did it just naturally.
Yeah.
And it could be that that's my natural way of being.
Yeah.
Which is why I try and give a lot of people lots of guidance into how to do it. I mean, I don't think there was one line per se. It was just, here's what it is. I told myself it's not chemo, it's medicines.
Wow. It's probably actually one of, I think, the most brilliant things. My father, as you know, passed away from cancer.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And he did not do what you did. Like when he got diagnosed, he was like, how long do I have to live? What's this? And he made up his mind that he had 12 months. And I remember him coming home and saying things like, you know, these doctors, right? They're quite apathetic. Guy looked at me and said, I'm dying in 8 months. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? And I remember saying to him, going, Dad, like you can't really, you know, listen to that. You know, I think for specifically for who you are, you know, what is some of the other information out there? What's another way of looking at it? But he literally made his decision to pass, and to the day he passed. And then obviously, you know, when we reconnected and we started to talk about it and I started to listen to your story, I'm like, you know, for someone that, and it was my father that passed away, I think the one thing he didn't do was manage his positive thoughts. He didn't, you know, demonstrate aggressive positivity.
So what I did want to mention is that using aggressive positivity doesn't mean that your prognosis or time that you're going to live is going to change.
Yep.
I'm not a wizard in that way. I can't take away diseases, but what I'm trying to do is change the quality of life while you are going through something and after.